वकालत एंड मनी मेकिंग, दैट इज समथिंग ऑफ एन आर्ट जो शायद जूनियर वकील शायद कभी एहसास भी नहीं कर पाते हैं, बिकॉज जब लॉ स्कूल से पास आउट होते हैं तो उनके दिमाग में वो आइडियल्स, वो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होते हैं, जैसे मेरे भी थे जब मैं आज से 6 साल पहले लॉ स्कूल से निकला था और सोसाइटी को चेंज करने वाला था। फिर आती है रट कोर्ट की और 18-18 घंटे की शिफ्ट, जिसमें सुबह 12 घंटे लगते हैं कोर्ट से ऑफिस पहुंचने में, फिर 6 घंटे ऑफिस में ड्राफ्टिंग, सीनियर के पास बैठना, अगले दिन के लिए प्रिपेयर करना, और फिर यही रट अगेन and again and again. India has more than 20 lakh lawyers, जिसमें से शायद कुछ fraud होंगे, but this is what the data is speaking right now. What are you doing in order to become that senior, that judge, or a partner at a tier 1 firm like Cam, Sam, or Trilegal, or Sai Krishna, or any of the biggest firms? Why would they take you? Do you have anything special, a unique advantage over the other 20 lakh lawyers which are there? The money, the specialization, or the connections that are getting you there? The Russian ruler is no different than achieving these goals without a solid plan for your legal career. How to manage your practice? There are so many other variables that I think every junior lawyer like me right now is struggling really hard. The market is dry, the legal system is broken. एक केस को रेजोल्यूशन पहुंचाने में 10 से 15 साल लग जाते हैं। हमारी फैमिली में अगर कोई लीगल डिस्प्यूट हो गया तो हम सजेस्ट भी नहीं करेंगे कि एक सिविल केस डाल दो, सिविल सूट फॉर डिक्लेरेशन, बिकॉज वी नो द आउटकम इज वेरी लॉन्ग ड्रॉन एंड आवर इमीडिएट हैक्स इज जस्ट अबाउट गेटिंग अ स्टे ऑर्डर अंडर 37 or maybe trying to get some pressure built by way of a criminal case, right? यही होते हैं litigation के hacks जो शायद 2 या 3 साल बाद practice करने में समझ आते हैं। As a lawyer, it will be great if you choose one specific line, be it civil, criminal, corporate. That would have been great had it been 2003, because तब से अब तक diversity भी काफ़ी हो गई है and the world has also progressed with the progression of technology in our lives. But we as people belonging to the legal fraternity, हमने technology को अच्छे से adapt करा नहीं है और ना ही adopt करने कोई मूड में है। कोविड ने हमें शायद वीसी हियरिंग्स और जूम यूज करना तो सिखा दिया, बट उसके बाद फाइलें वहीं वापस गत्तों में लग गई और हमारे कलर्ड फ्लैग्स आ गए वापस फाइल्स में, क्योंकि हमें आदत हो चुकी थी डेली रट की। A fresh law graduate makes anywhere between 5,000 rupees to 15,000 rupees in his first stint as a lawyer, and it is only after that he upscales and upgrades himself. Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud, made a statement asking all senior lawyers to pay their junior lawyers really well, but that didn't fly really well with the litigation industry because the standards are very low right now. मैंने मतलब खुद 5,000 रुपए से शुरू किया था, and I asked my friends around me, and everybody started from 12 to 15,000 rupees, and that was the maximum anybody was getting after having invested more than 25 lakhs in their legal education in their law schools. Live Law ने recently article publish करा where they did an analysis of how much do actually senior lawyers pay, while senior advocates like Dan Krishnan, Siddharth Luthra, Rajshekhar Rao, and several other officers pay a salary of upwards of 1 lakh to people who are in the litigation industry for more than 5 years, but that is barely enough to sustain ourselves, let alone think about our growth trajectory and think about becoming seniors and earning like Mukul Rothge and Kapil Sibal, जो शायद एक hearing का 12 लाख 15 लाख रुपए लेते हैं। I mean, all of us are really in that competition, right? हम सबके वही सपने हैं, senior designation चाहिए या judgeship का offer चाहिए या हमें अमरचंद का partner बनना है। I think that there is a lot of mindfulness that needs to now be introduced into our legal career right from day one. And from day one, I don't mean the day you appear before court as a lawyer for the first time, but day one of your legal career really starts from day one when you enter the law school, is when you decide that law is my discipline, then anything that I do will be piggybacking on top of this discipline called law. The main problem with law schools right now is that they're trying to teach law as an education, whereas law is much more of a discipline. You become way more informed about things around you. You become really inquisitive of the public policies. अगर कोई कानून सरकार से आता है, कोई notification या order निकलता है, you become way more informed of the technicalities, but at the end of the day, are you executing all this mindfulness into shaping your own career in the first place, or you're just shaping it for your client to get a better outcome? Most lawyers have failed to question themselves, and having worked with more than 100 lawyers in the past 5 years, I have come to the conclusion that there is absolutely no mindfulness that we as lawyers have for ourselves, because we are so busy trying to make lives work for everybody else. Let me give you a reality check of the legal industry. 20 लाख lawyers हैं, कितने senior designate होते हैं एक हाई कोर्ट से? शायद 100-200 मैक्स। उसके बाद इन हाउस काउंसिल होते हैं जो एक सैलरी पे काम करते हैं, जो कि 70,000-80,000 पे चले जाती होगी आफ्टर 2 2 years of practice. After that, it's really about breaking glass ceilings in a particular industry. For example, अगर कोई sports company Decathlon में काम कर रहा है, तो he will probably be restricting himself to companies which are in the sporting line. Or if somebody is in the housing line, कोई builder company के साथ काम कर रहा है, so they'll probably be progressing in the builder line. This is only something that comes to lawyers after 2-3 years being in the profession and learning कि अब हमारा ये field select हो गया है. For majority of us, it's not even a matter of choice कि हम choose करते हैं कि हमें कौन सी इंडस्ट्री में काम करना है, but it's much more a rather of destiny कि हमारा करियर खुद कहाँ पे शेप होता जाता है. That is totally dependent कि हाँ हमारे पुराने ऑफिस में हमें किस तरीके के केसेस मिल रहे थे, उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमने अपना नॉलेज बेस. I think it's time that lawyers in this country and in fact law students as well should start being mindful about what is the personal goal that they wish to achieve. If you're looking at a law career in order to make money, you really have to ensure that money making is not really the goal of your career, but something that is a byproduct of your success by you achieving something that nobody else has ever achieved, being a lawyer, having passed out of law school in that particular domain. If you want to make a change in environmental law, you should be able to hammer down big corporations who are polluting rivers left, right and center in the country. If you're somebody who want to make a dent in the fitness industry, then you should be somebody who should be working in food law, knowing fully well that what should be the nutritional allowances that a company can make in order to put that product as suitable for consumption by anybody across the board. These are the kind of specializations I think we as lawyers really need to take up in our hands in order to ensure that we are able to make the best use possible of the discipline called law that we have learned in our law schools maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. Because एक वकील का सक्सेसफुल होना एक ऐसी चीज है जो शायद 1 साल में भी हो जाता है, बहुत कम, बट कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि 25, 30 साल भी लग जाते हैं एंड सक्सेस फिर भी हाथ नहीं आता है. Now I think the main point is really being able to identify a growing sector. For example, tech law is something really interesting right now because a lot of money is being pumped in tech law. Sex tech law is something that is more of a micro niche, which again not a lot of lawyers right now will be thinking that what is the law that can be applied to production companies such as Pornhub and Xamster and इनके लिए काम करने में कितना पैसा मिलेगा. So what's important is that you are able to identify कि what is a growing sector, do you personally like that sector and which is that part in which you would like to work, and only then you mindfully make those choices. At the end of the day, it's really important to have those personal things with us so that we as lawyers aren't really hollowed out. Most of my friends who are lawyers right now are mentally corrupted because they are going through depression or they have some anxiety disorders owing to the fact that हमने 12-12, 15-15 घंटे अपने ऑफिस में बिताने के बाद रात को बस 6 घंटे की नींद लेके सुबह जल्दी उठ के फटाफट हम कोर्ट में 10 बजे पहुंचे हैं, because that's the kind of lives that we have been living and it's not been great. I'm not saying that the industry is bad in any way whatsoever. People who are succeeding, people who aren't succeeding are still trying to make the cut, but are we getting lost in the rut on a day-to-day basis is a question that I have asked myself probably 10 times every day for the past 1 year, and I've come to the fair conclusion that as long as I am not really able to identify what is personally attractive to me, I am not going to practice law as a matter of everyday routine. वही 138 के केस, वही सिविल सूट, वही क्रिमिनल कंप्लेंट और वही डाइवोर्स केसेस जिसके बेसिस पे शायद दाल रोटी आ रही होगी. बट इफ दाल रोटी वाज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ माय लीगल करियर, देन आई बेटर बी इंश्योरिंग कि मैं दाल रोटी बेच लूं. मतलब फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग आज के टाइम पे अगर आप साकेत कोर्ट के सामने छोले कुलचे की दुकान लगा लोगे तो ज्यादा पैसे कमा लोगे rather than starting your practice in Saket Court right now or any other court for that matter in Delhi. Delhi's legal scene is broadly divided into district court practice, high court practice, supreme court practice and other tribunals that are existing probably around every corner in central Delhi right now. I think it's time to change the way that we have been practicing law, which is something that I think you gauged. Welcome to Adjourned. This is probably the first episode I talk to you one-on-one with the camera. I tell you about why, what is important when it comes to practicing law, which part of law should you actually restrict yourself to, why should you not be worried about really consuming all the basic knowledge of every other bare act that is lying around you, and I tell you that how money making is something that will always be an extension right now of your expertise in a particular field of law, and which is why you should have probably business managers managing your business and your networking and social skills. I mean, frankly enough, if you think that being the best lawyer out there in terms of your legal knowledge and application of law is going to fetch you clients, then that is clearly not true, because I worked with probably the best legal minds in the country right now who are very good friends with me, are my seniors, are my juniors, but at the same point of time, like me, they have also struggled with money making for the longest time. They are not able to make rent after having practiced for 5 years in Delhi, which is considered as the capital of the country with the most number of courts that any area in India would have right now. अगर ये situation दिल्ली में है, let us really not even be worried about कि थर्ड टायर टाउन या फोर्थ टायर टाउन में हो क्या रहा है, 20-25 रुपए पेशी पे वकील अपीयर हो रहा है या नहीं. So far as how the mindfulness can be applied, why it is important, I think all of that is clear by now. But what is important is now you choose. Let us know that what are you planning to choose for a legal career. If you had all the choice in the world to choose that you would be practicing this field of law. It's time to make a change, not to the country but to yourself first, to your way of having worked a legal career, to the kind of lawyer that you want to be, to the goals that you set for yourself probably the day you started as a law student in the first year of law in your law school. If that is something that you're ready to go back to, let's take this journey forward, see where we can get it, and from there I'm sure there's a lot of money in store for us just because we are truly being the kind of person that we aspire to be.